Before the spotlight, who was Ragavan?
I love cricket, I love music, and yeah, that's who I am, and that's who I've always been.
Did you try to learn it professionally over the time?
I tried. He got shot down very early. My father, if you're watching, he said, "You're wearing glasses, Ragavan. You can't play cricket." But good move, Dad.
How did this foreign affair with English start? That 5 years. What goes into those 5 years?
It's one of the better things of learning something as a child.
The fear of failure that one encounters. But there is also another fear that you may know if you're a huge fan of Harsha Bokle, and he does say the fear of winning. How did you encounter the fear of winning in your journey?
Oh, yeah. You can't pretend, you can't act. I say you're basically naked on stage. Your personality comes out. But it's because of Toastmasters. Every leadership trait of mine was influenced again from Toastmasters.
I see myself as your younger self.
So you actually parceled in a couple of things. Okay, I'm going to open them all.
Which, according to you, in your entire Toastmasters journey, is your best speech?
Tough one. Which of the two kids that I gave birth to is the better one? I prepared for this podcast on ChatGPT.
Oh, now do you know?
Yeah.
Some people chase success. Some people chase stories. And few rare ones become a part of the story. All of you would have heard the quote, going from rags to riches. But today I have a man who's a testament to the fact that rags is equivalent to riches. And do you know why? The reason is he holds a lot of riches. No, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about something that is more valuable, which is life, people, and Toastmasters. Join hands to welcome the star of the evening, my most favorite person, distinguished Toastmaster Ragavan Sridhar.
Thank you so much, Khannchan. Such a pleasure being with you. Hearing what you said about me, it's special. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this with me. Thank you, Division B. Thank you, District 120. And thank you, Toastmasters and the universe, actually, to have brought me here with you. So it's a pleasure.
Awesome. So, Rags, before the spotlight, who was Ragavan? How do we define Ragavan?
I think Rags cuts it. But yeah, I mean, the spotlight or the district or the Toastmasters, they're all transient. They come today and then they may travel with you, of course, and I really wish they do. But I think underneath, I'm an insecure, fun-loving, simple guy. Just love everything about life. I love cricket. I love music, and yeah, that's who I am, and that's who I've always been. These days, these small happiness, I think that's been who I am.
How was your journey in cricket? Were you passionate about cricket from your childhood, or was it something that gained momentum during your college days or currently?
No, I was born in 1989. I'm the 90s kid, quintessential. And if you were in the 90s and you're growing up, there are basically two major influences in your life. One is A.R. Rahman, the other is Sachin Tendulkar. I think you just couldn't escape them. And so growing up, they were the biggest influences of my life. I remember a very small color television in our street. Our house had one television, and so many from the neighborhood would come down and watch a match together, watch Doordarshan together, hear the songs of Roja over and over again. And so cricket was a dream. It's something even today every child in India and Chennai sort of picks up, even in their mother's womb, I used to say. And so cricket was everything. It was the major entertainment then. And for a very long time, Khanch, I wanted to become a cricketer. I just lived and breathed cricket. But yeah, life happened and I didn't pick up cricket as a profession. But I think whatever I am today in my career, in my life, is because of cricket. And I think through the podcast, we'll talk a little more about it as well. But it sort of never left me. And I think the spirit of the game has always been there. So yeah, that's my cricket story.
Did you try to learn it professionally over the time?
I tried. It got shot down very early. My father, if you're watching, he said, "You're wearing glasses, Ragavan. You can't play cricket." But good move, Dad. I don't know if I would have made a good cricketer professionally, but yeah, it started and stopped in a day.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
You passionately talk about cricket. What I admire the most is one thing is about the passion with which you talk about the sport, and the second thing is the command that you hold over the language. And that's what adds more color. That's what makes this whole conversation beautiful. How did this foreign affair with English start?
I mean, again, goes back to cricket, right? When you watch cricket, it's not just the sight of the sport, it's the sound of the sport as well. And while growing up, Ravi Shastri and Sunil Gavaskar and Harsha Bogle, my God, man, if I had only X amount of gifts to give, I would give them all to Harsha Bogle in my life, because the man was just outstanding. He personified me in the commentary box. He personified every common Indian who hasn't played the game at the highest level, but who loves the sport. And so he used to ask questions of the fellow commentators about cricket, about the shots, about what happens one day before the game, what happens one day after the game. And even this morning, I was watching a reel, I just tried to put it up as well, where he talks about Virat Kohli. So yesterday he got out in a second duck in a row. And then, well, all of us, the entire world almost is saying about how Virat, for the first time in his career, has scored 2 continuous ducks. And is it time for him to go? Harsha comes out and then says, that is a testament of how good Virat has been. 15 years, he has never had 2 consecutive ducks. That blew my mind. I mean, that perspective, right? So while growing up, there were so many such beautiful perspectives that came from Ravi Shastri, Harsha Bogle, Sunil Gavaskar. I heard a lot of foreign commentators as well, Michael Arthurton, Michael Vaughan. So somehow the fascination of watching the game and hearing that sort of came into me. So I think they are my biggest inspirations. And yeah, I've picked up a lot from them, I know for sure.
You also spoke about how music had an influence in your life. And you, after watching all of your Instagram reels, the way you play violin, my goodness, I could sit and watch you play all day. Where does that inspiration come from?
You are, I think, the first person, the only person who said that. Most people watch me on mute, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I have my parents to thank for it, Khannchan. I mean, growing up, obviously as a child, discipline is something you run away from. You make a child sit in one place for 10 minutes, he or she is going to run away. So I was like that. But at home, there were a few things that were non-negotiables. One of them was having to learn some art form. My grandmother got a gift from one of her students. She was a vocal teacher who was leaving to Malaysia, and she gave a violin. And my grandmother preserved it. And then when I became 13, 14 years old, she handed it over to me and said, yeah, go ahead, learn it. My violin is as old as me, actually. So that's where the spark was lit. First 3-4 years, I was not sincere. I was just going, didn't understand what it was doing to me. I was always listening to music. Music was all around. My dad was a huge aficionado of Carnatic music, of movies. But violin did nothing to me, basically the first 3-4 years. But then suddenly, I think 5th year of learning, I realized how much I loved performing. It was about that spotlight, about that stage. And violin was the means to that end. So when I was with the violin, I was playing, people were listening, and then I got the spotlight, then I loved it a little more. And so eventually music gets to you, it loves you so much. If you give love to music, music loves you back so much. And yeah, it's been going on for a while. Now that you talk about it, I think I have to go back and dust my violin up a little bit. But yeah, it's been an on and off affair. I've been in touch with the instrument for a very long time, and then sort of took a break, then came back again during COVID. The thing with violin is it's one of the very difficult instruments to play. They call it the most difficult stringed instrument. I can't tell you because I only know violin. But yeah, it's difficult. So you have to pay a lot of attention to it. You have to take care of it like you take care of your partner. Huh? So it's like that.
you did mention that for 5 years you did not love violin, and only after the fifth year you realized how much violin influenced your life and how much you loved violin and violin loved you back. And that 5 years, what goes into those 5 years?
It's one of the better things of learning something as a child. Yeah, because you don't know how the passage of time is. I was learning the instrument with a best friend of mine from school. Him and I, we did most of the things together except get married. We married different people, but we did most of the things together. And so going to the violin class was more about hanging out with a best friend. And thankfully, he was more sincere than I was. And so those 5 years were like the nurturing period. Yeah, you put a seed, you water it continuously. You never know what it grows up to. So yeah, one is mom's strictness. You just can't bunk classes. Second, of course, is my guru's. Yeah, he never got frustrated with me. Yeah. I must thank him. His name is Sorapuram V. Shankar. I really owe him a lot. He was there throughout, even when I was not playing well, when I was not sincere. He was still there. He stood by me throughout that period. All the tantrums, all the indiscipline, all the not so good playing. He stood by us. He guided us, mentored us, never gave up on us. I think he's in Triplicane today. Still owe him a lot of my life. Thank you, Shankar sir, for all that you have done for me. But it was because of them, right? My best friend Sri Charan, my mom specifically, and my guru, who sort of held me in one place. They ensured that I didn't stop. And then eventually, after a period of time, I think it bore fruit. So yeah, it's them, nothing that I did.
Amazing. And you have such diverse interests. People wear a lot of hats. I think you should have a humongous amount of hats at your place as well. And how did Toastmasters happen?
Yeah, I think, like I was telling you, Khannchan, one thing I really realized is I love being on the stage. Any form didn't matter. Whether I was an MC, whether I was dancing, whether I was singing, speaking. The love for the stage was something that's never changed. In fact, it's grown on as I grew older in my life. So I always wanted to be on stage. And 2010, when I graduated, you join as a graduate, you're on bench, right? So I was in bench at my workplace, and then I suddenly saw an email that said, "Do you like a stage? Would you want to speak on stage?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I read the email and it said, "Toastmasters, come visit us." So it was in 2010 that I walked into the first Toastmasters meeting. As the saying goes, the rest is history. I've never looked back. So my first meeting was in 2010, but I was allowed to become a member only in 2012. Vijay, if you're watching, thank you. No, but yeah, that's another story in itself. But the moment I walked into that room, I fell in love. I fell in love with everything that was happening, with the people around, with the way the entire meeting was structured, with how beautiful an opportunity it was, how nobody is judgmental. And it's so surprising. Any stage you go on to, until then in my life, you're always judged. And that's why you get so nervous, you get so worked up. I start sweating. While I loved the stage, it never came without a price. And then I came into Toastmasters and it was almost like free lunch. Everybody's clapping, they're all smiling, they want you to win. That was amazing. And yeah, I've stayed on 15 years now.
15 years?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long-term relationship.
Yeah, 13 as a member, 15 as someone who's been, like you said, long-term relationship with I jocularly tell my wife, I met Toastmasters before I met her, so it's always going to beat you. And then she says, let's see if you don't divorce yet. But yeah, I think...
Did you meet her in Toastmasters as well?
She met me in Toastmasters, yes. That's how the story should be told. So the story is, I was giving my icebreaker, 2010, July, August-ish. I don't remember exactly, but somewhere there. I was going to deliver my icebreaker. As always happens in corporate meetings, even to this day, it was an empty hall, very few people there. And then the HR of my company then, he said, okay, let's not start the meeting. Let me go and see if I can do something about it. He walked out and there was a group of 20 graduates, same batch, but I was in a different department, different floor. I was visiting in that floor. So he walked out onto that floor, found out 20 young graduates sitting, and then said, "Hey guys, you're anyway idle. Just walk into the room, come in." And then he sort of pulled everybody into the room. Among the 20 was my wife. So she delivered an icebreaker. I delivered a prepared speech. Eventually, the joke is that she divorced Toastmasters and married me, and that's where she saw me first. Because beyond a fleeting image of her wearing a light-colored dress, I don't remember much about how she looked or what she spoke of. But then there, spark started, I suppose, and I'm going to get shy now. Yeah.
And they do say that once you join Toastmasters, it improves active listening. Has your active listening been improved at home?
It helps me today. What you also learn from Toastmasters is not to talk, whether you listen or not. Sometimes you sit and then clap in the right moments. So yeah, but jokes apart, true. What Toastmasters has done is, I think, made me a little more patient.
Beyond speaking, there's something else also that you would get to learn as a part of Toastmasters. And that becomes extremely evident when you start contesting. How was your contest journey?
Yeah, man. I mean, there are two Raghavans, okay? The Ragavan before 2020, who was Virat Kohli-esque. So obsessed with winning. Very much like you, Khannchan. Winning meant everything. I used to be like super aggressive and I wanted to win all the time. I would never go to a contest saying contesting is important. Winning is important. Winning is the only thing. I was obsessed, and then but what I also had during that time, Khannchan, was great mentors, like just fantastic mentors. While the obsession was there, they kept teaching me the importance of being prepared for it. You can't just be obsessed with winning and not do anything to prepare for winning. Yeah. And so my mentors kept teaching me what I need to learn to win. And so I was just terribly obsessed with winning. And then I think not even in 2020, a little while earlier in 2018, when I went to Sri Lanka for the district finals, I had one of the worst performances ever delivered by a Toastmaster in the history of Toastmasters. It was so bad that I couldn't look at my own self in the mirror. But what that did, the following year, I then stopped contesting, and for the first time in my journey until then, I stopped contesting and I took area director term, and it was a reflection time. And then there was the next year after that, 2020 to 2021, I didn't have any idea for a speech, and I didn't have the energy to contest as well. But these 2 years, I think they transformed me a lot. I turned from being someone who was pursuing the trophy into someone who was in search of the championship. I realized being a champion and winning the championship are two different things. And sometimes you don't need a trophy to tell you that you're a champion. So many people tried telling me, like I am trying to tell you, Khannchan, you are a champion, you don't need that trophy. So many people tried to tell me, it never went into my head. But I think those 2 years, they were painful, but I think they transformed. And then after 2020, I did not pursue a trophy anymore, but I started enjoying the stage. The very reason why I was a Toastmaster, I started enjoying that. Every chance to go onto the stage I did. And that's when educational sessions started flooding. And then my speeches started becoming more and more reflective, more and more. I started loving my own speeches. Not that I didn't love the speeches before, but I started enjoying them so much. It was like you are eating a delicious meal. That taste was there. So now the Ragavan after 2020 is just enjoying every minute on stage. Everything I do, just relishing it. It's so beautiful. And I'm meeting people to everyone I've met, to everyone who has been so close, thank you, because it's just amazing.
In the beginning, there is this failure, the fear of failure that one encounters. But there is also another fear that you may know if you're a huge fan of Harsha Bhogle, and he does say the fear of winning. How did you encounter the fear of winning in your journey?
Oh yeah, Harsha again, yeah. See, what happens is, Khannchan, sometimes you'll be really good and you will know it too. You'll be so good that you'll be like, hey, hang on a minute, I can win this. I can actually taste the victory. One hand of mine is already on that trophy. And that's perhaps the most dangerous spot to be in. Because what it does is you start telling yourself, hey, I can win. And that excitement suddenly turns into, hey, hello, what will happen to me once I get that? Your mind starts fantasizing about the day after and what happens to you after you win. And very popularly, the South African teams of the 1990s, late 90s, you had that. They never used to win. And then there used to be spaces where they'll go into positions where, hang on a minute, they can actually win. The semifinals of the popular World Cup where it was a tie, and then the other legendary image where from needing 2 runs of 1 ball, suddenly rain comes and they needed 22 runs of 1 ball. Same match, same situation, rain came. And the difference was they were at the cusp of victory, and then everybody thought, okay, we are going to make history here. And then the universe plays a game with you. And yeah, when you're so close to winning and when it's a possibility, your mind starts to play tricks. Your process goes out of the window. You start focusing on, and many of us do it. I see a lot of Toastmasters doing it. The first thing that they do is look into the every division contest results to see, hey, who are my competition? It's good to know who your competition is, but I know of a couple of my friends who attend every division conference, travel across the length and breadth of the city. That's good. But why do they attend? To know and dissect every competitor's speech before they even come to the finals. And so when they come to the final, they know, oh, this guy, I know his speech. Oh, this girl, I know her speech. I know what works, what doesn't work. While you actually needed to have spent that time perfecting your own, making yourself better, the focus goes towards the competition. And that happens because you realize you can win. So the fear of winning is actually a bigger enemy than the fear of losing, because if you fear failure, you might work harder. But if you fear success, if you can taste it, you become complacent. So
a lot of life lessons. I think that's what Toastmasters is all about. It's beyond speaking, it's beyond leadership. And when we talk about Toastmasters, it's also important for us to pay more attention to what happens outside Toastmasters. So how has Toastmasters, the lessons that you've learned here, helped you shape your professional career?
Yeah, beautiful question, Khannchan, because if you read my intro, the one that I write and send, I keep saying that whatever I am today, I am because of Toastmasters. I owe a lot to my personal and professional personality to Toastmasters. And it's true because there are a few lessons that I've learned from Toastmasters, and I call them the 5 art forms I learned from Toastmasters. First of all, Toastmasters taught me the art of silence, like I had told you a little while back, right? So it taught me that I need not be the first person to talk in a meeting room. I can actually be the second or even the last. There is a lot of power in silence. Do I practice it? I don't know. But yeah, the power of silence is brilliant. Second, Toastmasters actually taught me the art of personal branding. When you go onto the stage, right, Khanch, you can't pretend, you can't act. I say you're basically naked on stage. Your personality comes out. You have very limited time to respond and react, especially in a crisis on stage. And so when you have to go back to the stage over and over again and repeat it, you can't live a lie. Your original personality has to come out. And then you realize, and Toastmasters gives you an opportunity to shape that personality. And so it helped me brand myself, become that. Okay, who is Ragavan? I can't sit chained even here, right? In the setup, you can see me moving. The kinetic energy is used. So I learned that that's okay. That's good. It's your personal brand. You bring it out. And Toastmasters teaches you empathy. Everybody knows what empathy is, yet none of us know what empathy really is. We always keep saying that it's walking in someone else's shoes. But hey, practically, I cannot wear your slippers and walk, Khanch. You can't walk in mine. Metaphorically, literally, it's not correct. But can I understand you? Can I understand where your shoe pinches you? Yeah, I can. And Toastmasters doesn't just make you understand that, it makes you explain how you should do it better. And then it teaches you the art of adapting to different people, different circumstances. Now you have put a camera here. I have to still speak different cultures, different contexts. So that's the great learning. And then finally, the art of knowing yourself. Who are you? Who am I actually? What can I do? What can't I do? What clicks? What doesn't? So all of these, I mean, these 5 lessons I keep repeating to everyone who asks me, are lessons I learned from Toastmasters that I'm taking out. That's really helping me. So yeah, Toastmasters for the win.
People treat leadership and public speaking as two different segments. They
Yeah.
departmentalize and compartmentalize those things. But are these two facets, do they go hand in hand, or are
Yeah.
they separate entities altogether?
Yeah, I mean, like there is batting and bowling in a cricket game, right? There is speaking and leadership in your overall personality. They are unique competences, sure, but I think the best all rounders are those who can coexist in both these spaces. To me, they are not two different beings. They are they are joined at the hip. And I have approached leadership and public speaking in the same way. Whatever beats work for speaking, they work for leadership as well. I have learned so much about being a leader through Toastmasters than even at work. Because when you are a leader at Toastmasters, right, you don't have authority. It's not like people should listen to you at all. You don't have to, nobody has to follow your instructions in Toastmasters. And so it is DTM Sugandhi, one of our international directors now, right? So DTM Sugandhi ma'am, who actually told me first once that she said, Ragavan, I learned the art of influencing without authority from Toastmasters. That was amazing for me. I was like, oh, really? What does that mean? And then she says, when you don't have to listen to me, and yet as a leader, when I'm able to make you listen to me, that's power. That's leadership. So I think that's one of the most profound lessons I've learned. And so at work, now I'm a change leader, but earlier, just a few months back, I was a people manager and I had a stint about 8 years as a people manager. And then every time I went into a decision-making room, the one thing that I'll keep out is my authority. So I'll try to walk into a room, into decision-making rooms and tell myself, hey, what if I am not the manager? Let's see how I will approach this problem. Let's say I don't have any authority. Can I still make this decision click? Because that you have an authority to make a decision, if it influences a decision, in my opinion, of course, it's not going to last longer. Whereas if I can make a decision, whether or not I have authority, that then you will base it on logic, you will base it on whether it will work and its efficiency and effectiveness. And so I tried to bring it to all of the decision making that I did in my journey, and I was quite successful, I must say. It was a lovely stint. And even now, half of my heart is still earning for a role like that, but I'm very peaceful at this point. But it's because of Toastmasters that every leadership trait of mine was influenced again from Toastmasters.
All that I can think of, or all that I can say, is that how your journey is closely stitched to my journey right now. And probably I see myself as your younger self, as to how you have struggled and come a certain way in life. And probably you credit all of those successes or failures or the lessons that you've learned to the mentors that you've worked with.
Yeah.
And if you could mentor your younger self, what is the one thing that you would tell him?
So you actually parceled in a couple of things. Okay, I'm going to open them all and address it first of all. All of us who join Toastmasters and who are particular about contests and winning, we share similar journeys. We all go through a place where we really want to win. We are just one step away from killing our fellow competition, but we all go through that journey. So in that sense, I agree when you said younger self, similar self. But honestly, Khannchan, I think the talent and the skills of people like you and so many others that I see, your talent is at a much better level. So you can achieve success a lot faster. The key there is the same that I had. Again, another commonality was achieving success. The key is with mentors, listening to mentors. Okay. So you have better talent. You are on the same journey. So results can come faster to you. the reason why I was able to do whatever I was able to do is because of my mentors, and that's what you also talked about. Let me double click on that a little bit. Yeah, the first mentor that I ever had in Toastmasters, his name is DTM Karthik Srinivasan. He's not with us anymore, but I know Karthik is watching. Karthik mentored every Toastmaster in Tamil Nadu in one way or the other back in those days. There was only one division, double-digit number of clubs maximum, but everybody knew Karthik, and we were all in love with the man he was. He was a mystery. Back then, there were only two mentors, DTM Karthik Srinivasan, DTM Sarovel Rajan. You had to be in one of these two camps. If you were a disciplined person, process-oriented, methodical, did all the things by the book, if you were the Rahul Dravid, you will go into Sarovel Rajan's camp. If you were the opposite, you will go into Karthik Srinivasan camp. I couldn't go near Saro at all. I had all of the indisciplines, so I went into Karthik Srinivasan's mentoring. He was an enigma. It was just magical, Khannchan. The first thing he looked at me and he asked me to repeat a speech twice, and I repeated it twice. I had the script. He took the script paper, tore it. And then he said, anyway, you're not going to use this. What use is it? He didn't say, don't write a script. He said, write a script. But the speaker you are is you internalize the script and then you bring Ragavan into the script. Until then, I was guilty about it, Khannchan. Nobody had told me it was okay. Everybody said you had to follow a method, right? So, but it was Karthik who first said, hey, you are Ragavan, be Ragavan, no problem. But then do the process well. Don't go in without a script, that is arrogance. Write a script, internalize it, then bring magic. So that was Karthik, and he mentored so many of us. And then, of course, I sort of joined in, and Viji was always there. DTM Vijayalakshmi Soundarajan, she was the vice president education of the club when I joined, eventually president. She's today, I think, she is the one who has been closest to a sibling for me. She doesn't appreciate and all. She's like, just do this better, get lost well. But then I know, it's not about what she says, it's about how she says it. You know, right? So Viji has been a constant presence in my life. She is a very good friend of my wife as well. So we were in the same workplace. That was Viji. And then I found my best friend for life, Arna Chugani. She's always been there, and she has always known the right words to tell me. And those are very important words. I used to give evaluations where I used to look amazing. But then the speaker used to squirm because the feedback was so rough. And then Arna one day told me, it's not about you, it's about the speaker. Do you recognize that? I will never forget that lesson. And then perhaps the biggest influence in my personality on stage as a speaker has been DTM Jayan Narayan. He told me that speakers can be entertainers too. And I took the entertainer part alone, rest I forgot. So every time I go onto a stage today, whether it is an educational session, whether it's college, school, whether I'm delivering in front of from a laptop or even to a large audience, to a small audience, I focus on being an entertainer on stage. I'm not the educator type. So I have fallen in love with that aspect. So it was Jayan. And then Sridhar Ranganathan, oh my God, man, serial winner. He, I think, taught me the value of humility. You go and talk to Sridhar today, you will feel like that guy has achieved nothing in his life. And he will immediately turn it around on you. No? He has that unique knack.
True.
You go and talk to him about him, he'll make it about you.
Correct.
I think that, So 5 mentors, 5 amazing things.
You love people and you compliment them, and it is so genuine, and you do not expect anything in return from that. And most of the relationships these days are quite transactional. You expect something in return, you want something in return. And I think that to get rid of that perspective requires some different level of maturity, Raghavan. And how did you attain that maturity?
Now you're actually calling me old, huh?
No.
No, see, again, I will go back to what I saw growing up. The people around me, especially my family, starting with my father, few of my father's cousins, they used to bring so much joy to everyone around with just a simple compliment. Yeah, just one sentence somebody would have said in the morning while they were having their breakfast, when the entire family was around. They will sort of bring it back at 4 p.m. and then the entire crowd will laugh. But the person who heard it, they used to feel really nice. One sari that they wore in some function a few years back, my father would say, "Hey, do you have that sari? That was amazing." The way someone walked, the words that they used, or just complimenting them for the tiniest things, but things that were submerged in truth, that brought so much joy and happiness and affection throughout Khannchan. And I remember feeling that, even though I have not been at the receiving end of so many of it, because I was a child. But then when you are in that room and the room gets charged and there is absolute love. And then I think we have sort of minimized that word love into meaning only a romantic relationship. But I think love in itself is such a range of emotions in it. There is love. I mean, I can love the mic. I can love my phone. I can love the camera. I can love my speeches. So loving something truly is what has gotten really narrow through I wouldn't say only today, but as I've grown up. But because I grew up with people who showed what magic a compliment can have, what genuine smile can bring to someone's life, that really impacted me as a person. Like I said, neither was I the giver nor was I the receiver. I was just an observer. And so in my mind, when I saw the receiver feeling so charged and happy, the entertainer in me sort of got aroused. So what if I could be the one who can give that to people? So I do not expect the reaction at all. The reaction doesn't really matter. But if I'm able to pull it off, right? If I'm able to really observe someone, how they have walked, how they have dressed, how they have spoken, what they have done, and what's best best in them. The people who report into me, the graduates who join my work, or a young student I see at college, or my great grandfather, anybody for that matter. If I'm able to look at something, get something, and then put it back out, it just makes me so happy.
And speaking of happiness, Ragavan, you find the joy even in the tiniest of things. Yeah. Let's talk about dancing with your daughter. Yeah. Let's talk about your children. Yeah. Have they redefined the way in which you look at life?
Absolutely. I think my life definitely will be written in 2 chapters. Pre-Adya, who is my daughter, who was born in 2017, and post-Adya. The Ragavan before Adya was someone else. I don't know if you will even like that Ragavan. But the Ragavan after Adya is so much better. Still a work in progress, but so much better. And then add Avyay into the mix. Avyay is my son, 2021 born. Add Avyay into that mix. It was like adding sugar into payasam. It was already sweet, right? My life is amazing. Yeah. And these 2 kids, they are God sent. I wouldn't even say God sent. They are God themselves. They are just outstanding, and you pick up on so many things in life from them. That I used to write, Khannchan. I used to write under the hashtag Adya Diaries. You can still find them on Facebook. Such a boomer thing to do now, Facebook. But I used to write mini blogs. The blog was a big medium. I couldn't write essays. I wanted to express in short format. So I wrote mini blogs and I wrote them on Facebook, and then I have them stored offline nowadays. But I started documenting every moment of my life with Adya. And there used to be so much that the little child used to teach me that my life became so beautiful. And I love my life. And it's a lot of it just down to them. Now that you have told me about them, I really want to go back and play with those 2 at home. But yeah.
Awesome. We've spoken about payasam, but as a food lover, it's also important to talk about the chilies, the spice, the fire. We should go to the next segment as well, which is the rapid fire segment. Are you prepared? Are you ready?
I'm nervous now. Prepared? You want me to be prepared for rapid fire?
No, prepared for all the questions. Okay. It's going to be like an impromptu table topics kind of a session. Right, so I have prepared certain questions to put Ragavan Sridhar on spot. It is a deliberate attempt.
Okay. Now I'm scared.
So the first question to you, Ragavan, is one piece of advice for aspiring champions that you've come across that you would want to share.
Pursue championship, not the trophy.
Do you want to also tell your trademarked quote? Which is
yeah. You don't need a trophy to be a champion, but you need to be a champion to win the trophy.
That's the cake. That's a cherry on the cake. Let's talk about things that you've already done.
Yeah.
Which, according to you, in your entire Toastmasters journey, was your best speech?
Tough one. Which of the two kids that I gave birth to is the better one? That's what you're asking. No, but I think I will rate Sachin as my best speech. I delivered it in 2021. I came second. Sridhar Ranganathan won the first place that year. I still think Sridhar I should have won. Kidding. I told him, I called him up after the contest and I called him and said, Sridhar, you won, congratulations. But I think I should have won.
Oh my God, you did
Yeah,
that?
the audacity of it, yeah. No, but Sachin is my favorite speech. The second has to be Lucky number 13, which was the 2018 speech. It's about bike race. I love bikes also, so that was my second best. Ironically, the winning speech of 2022 that eventually won me the championship is not even in the top 5.
Oh.
But yeah, Sachin and Lucky number 13. Then I wrote a speech on choices. And then there is a huge story of how Vijay made me repeat that speech 10, 11 times. But it is about choosing the right choice over the easy choice. I was reading Harry Potter then, and then Professor Dumbledore says that to Harry Potter. It's when the choice comes to choosing between what is right and what is easy, always choose what is right. And so I wrote a speech on that. So those are the top 3.
So this is kind of a Gen Z question. Now AI is the buzzword.
Yeah.
Do you think AI enhances the speaker's storytelling, or does it make it even more artificial?
So in how you framed the question, both of the choices are wrong. I don't believe in either. The storytelling has to be done by the person. And so no machine it's not in the scope of a machine, it's out of syllabus for a machine. But then it works on whatever intelligence you give into it. So whether it becomes artificial or not is again with the speaker in my belief. But I love AI because I saw it in action. I sent my speech on Pegasus to my mentor Jayan. And I was on a train going to Virudhunagar, and in the morning of the contest, Jayan is like that. You send him a script today, 7 days later, he will say hi. 1 hour before the contest, he'll give you feedback.
I'm not making you say that.
No, let it be recorded. He does that. No, but the morning of the contest, when I'm traveling on the train, Jayan sends me a revised script. Suddenly, the script had become poetic. What I had mentioned in 5 lines of prose was in 2 lines of poetry. It's almost like Tirukkural. It was so beautiful. I loved the words coming out of my tongue. It just the melange of flavors, of the words, of the sounds, spectacular. I was like, Jayan, how did you do this? I mean, you have been mentoring me for years, but this never happened before. And then Jayan said, no, actually it was ChatGPT.
Oh.
So Jayan took my script, posted it on ChatGPT. He gave magical prompts there, and then out came the result. So what does AI do? AI is your best friend, Khannchan. It's like every other equipment you use in your life to make your life better. It's like the car you drive. The better car you have, the better it is, right, for you. It's like the kitchen utensils you have. It's like the television you have at home. It's like the best watch that you can. It's another instrument. Does having a watch make your time go fast?
No.
Same thing with AI. AI does not do anything plus or minus. But AI is another equipment, it's an instrument that you can use to make things better. If you want time to go fast, you keep the clock faster by 10 minutes. Every mom has ever done that, no?
Correct.
Keep 15 minutes fast clock.
Especially when they wake their kids up.
Exactly. You lie about the time. How you use the instrument is up to you. So I love AI. I have seen it giving me great results. I prepared for this podcast on ChatGPT.
Oh, now do you know?
Yeah.
All right. If you were to title your autobiography, what would the title be?
Don't write. No, let me think. Let's say strings and straight drives.
Strings and?
Straight drives, cricket.
Oh,
Or
cricket.
I'm a bowler, so strings and swing bowling, something like that. But yeah, music and cricket, right? That's been my 2 biggest influences. Add a rags somewhere. So strings and straight drives, a rag story. I don't know if anybody will buy that book, but yeah.
No, everyone would, and it would be on the bestseller list.
From the bottom, yeah.
No. If you were given a chance, if God had to give you one talent and he tells you that anything you touch in that particular field, it turns to gold.
Oh.
Okay?
Ooh.
Would you choose violin? Would you choose cricket? Would you choose public speaking?
My God. Okay. Tough question again.
This is not ChatGPT. I spent a lot of time on research.
But I think I would do public speaking. Yeah, because I'm sure there will be better musicians out there. Like I've told you, right? What drives me is when I go onto the stage, I am an entertainer. I'm a performer. If God gives me all the talents of a violinist, I would still be approaching it as a performer. Whereas a real hardcore, beautiful musician would approach it as a musician. It will be musically brilliant. It will be just so much better to hear because it's going to be the artist in love with the art. And so I will let artists go with the violin. Cricket, we have Virat Kohli. Yeah, why do you need Ragavan? Watching Virat and Sachin has just shaped my life so much. So yeah, let them do that. Public speaking, of course, there are so many heroes, but I know I can be one among them also. There is always more that you can bring in. So yeah, I will tell my own stories. So I will pick on it. So let's see. God, if you're listening, you're watching on camera.
He definitely is, probably on both of them.
Yeah.
All right, Ragavan, it was a pleasure talking to you. And there are few people who make you reflect your thoughts, and there are few people who awaken that spirit within you and empower you to create that revelation. And I hope and I wish and I pray to God that you always keep that passion alive and also keep inspiring many speakers like us to be you or even better than you for that matter. Like you said in your words.
Absolutely, Khannchan. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure. Like I said, there's everything that you need to become much, much better. Just hit it out of the park. Just go for it. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much, Division B. Thank you, District 120, for hosting me. Really enjoyed the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.